Hello and welcome to part 3 of our login screen section. Now in this one, we're going to align our widgets correctly as per the demo, alright? So open up your code editor, and the first thing we want to do is define a new property for our window, alright? Now this property is going to be the one we're going to use to actually position our widgets at the center of the screen, alright? So define a new property down here, call it SpaceX, and SpaceX is going to be equal to self.size. Now self.size in this case refers to the size of this widget, right? And since this is the root widget, its size by default is the same size as your window, alright? So self.size is actually a list property in Kivy. And a list property, you can think of it as a basic Python list which has indexes and values, right? So the size property has two values, the x and the y. X being the width of the widget, y being the height of that widget, alright? So we want to manipulate the x value, so we'll get the 0 index, right? Divide that by 3. Alright, so that's that. Next thing we want to do, we want this sizing to only affect these widgets right here, right? We don't want it to affect the header bar. So what we're going to do is create a box layout right here, alright, and tab these in so that they are actually inside this box layout, right? Then we're going to manipulate the size of this box layout, alright? So what we want to do is obviously orientation, and this orientation is supposed to be vertical. Then we want to manipulate the padding. Now padding is essentially just the distance between widgets, alright? So in this case, the distance between our box layout and the widgets inside that box layout, alright? So for the padding, we want our padding to be equal to this value on the x-axis and 10 on the y-axis. Now for now, we have no way of referencing this value, but we can fix that by giving this widget an ID. Let's give it an ID of main win, since this is the main widget, right? So then down here we can simply say main win dot we called it space x, right? So that's the x-axis, and the y value for now we'll give it 10 pixels, alright? So padding can take either one value, two values, or four values. If you give padding one value, it's going to use that same value for padding at the top, padding on the right, padding at the bottom, and padding on the left. If you give it two values like this, the first value is going to affect your padding on the left and right, and the second value is going to affect your padding at the top or at the bottom, alright? If you give it four values, then that's top, right, bottom, and left, alright? So with that done, we can simply run this and see what happens. Okay, so our widgets are now aligned correctly, and why we did this, by the way, is so that even if we resize our widgets, they'll still be aligned correctly, alright? So as you can see, even if I resize, this still works, alright? So that's that. Now we need to fix our text inputs. So the first thing we want to do is disable multi-line. Multi-line, by the way, is this right here. See, as I type, I can type in line after line. Now for this one, we only need the username and the password here, so we don't need multi-line. So to disable that, we can simply say multi-line and make it false, like that. false, capital letter F. Same one for this, so multi-line equal to false, right? And let's give these text inputs spacing as well. So spacing, and I think 10 pixels should work for this. Another thing, let's make spacing between this box layout and our buttons. All right. So to do that, for now, let's just try adding spacing here. All right. So 20. Try okay. Let's take care of the sizes as well. All right. So before we run this, let's take care of the height. So none. The height. Make the height of this one 80. All right. So that way, this text input is going to be 40 pixels long, and this one 40 pixels long as well. All right. Then copy this, since we're being lazy, and paste it down here. Change the height to 40. Now let's run this and see what happens. Alright, just as I thought. So this started happening with Kivy 1.10. I have no idea why, but for now, how I fix this is I add spacing by creating an empty label. Alright, so let's create an empty label right here and give it an ID of SP. Comment out this guy and give this label the same properties. So 40. Create another label down here and paste in these guys, and nope, actually we don't want to paste these guys. Give it an ID of SP2 and that should fix that. Okay, so great. Now widgets are aligned correctly. So we'll stop here for today. The next one will start giving our screen a little color. Alright, so thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Like this video if you did, dislike it if you didn't. Any questions or comments, leave them down below and I'll try to answer as many as I can. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one.